A massive thank you to Sergey, Triple J, Michael, Eddie and Azza for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 20 of Season 7 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we return to one of the most iconic tracks in Formula 1 and yeah, one of the absolute best fan bases and atmosphere as well, in my personal opinion. Yep, today we're returning to Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix, of course, an absolute storied history around Interlagos, both in real life and, of course, in the My Team Career Mode. Of course, this track was where we managed to win last season's World Championship after some blue flag shenanigans for our main rival Max Verstappen last year. However, of course, if you missed out on the last video from Mexico, I would highly recommend going back and checking out a very dramatic race there, as Mexico was often delivered in this career mode as well. Of course, there will be spoilers for that one in just a second. But of course, if you missed out on the F1 22 content that went live as well Monday, where we drove around the all-new Albert Park circuit, I would definitely recommend going back and seeing that one. There's going to be a little bit more F1 22 content, of course, coming out over the next few days, and then, of course, yeah, we're ready for the big one when the full game releases at the end of the month there. We've smashed through 53,000 subscribers now. At the time of recording, we're well on our way to 54k, so, you know, if you are new to the channel and you do want to help us get one step closer to 60k, it would be massively appreciated as well there. But yeah, having a look then, Drivers' Championship with 4 races to go, including this one today. The gap at the top down to just 26 points here. Sergio Perez had a fantastic home race there. Took big points out of both myself and George Russell there. And Max Verstappen, he's been amping up the consistency over the last couple of races there. Up to P5 now in the championship. Of course, he cannot be crowned world champion this year. But if he can help us cut down that 69-point gap to Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship, that would be very useful as well. But yeah, back at Interlagos this weekend. Let's get into it then here from Brazil. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. I cannot believe we're into the final 4 races of this My Team Career Mode on F1 2021. You know, we've done well over, if you include the F2 Career Mode and, of course, the Williams Road to Glory as well, by the end of this game, we'll have done over 200 Career Mode races, which is kind of insane.
Get ready to open it.
I've done yet.
This is on your MFD.
Just shy of 140 races in this series, just shy of 60 races in the Williams RTG there, and of course, yeah, the F2 Career Mode as well, which was, honestly, I think still one of my favourite series I've ever done on the channel. That was just so much fun. I think, yeah, we obviously did 24 races in that calendar as well. I'm planning on bringing the F2 series back when, of course, the 2022 driver lineup reveals on the game. It'll probably be right at the very end of the year. But yeah, I haven't quite decided which team I'm going to do a Road to Glory with yet on F1 22. But of course, yeah, my team... Oh, hi, hello. Yeah, my team will definitely, of course, be returning as well. Right, well, track acclimatization lap all done and dusted. Let's move in to our fuel simulation run. We've got a little bit of time in the bank, so I think you guys know, 130 odd episodes in, what I'm going to do as we get back up to the start-finish line. We'll just start lifting out of that throttle, and that should be another nice, easy purple score. Let's get into quali. Right, well, longest run back up towards the line then, as we're going to immediately jump into Q2 here from Interlagos, and we're pretty much going to immediately ruin my first lap there. Luckily, it's on a set of mediums. Just thought we'd try and get one outlap, sort of sighting it up. May as well use the tyres as we've got them. But yeah, qualifying here is going to be very close. I think the top 10 in Q1 were separated by less than 0.3 of a second, so everyone is within a good shout here. You want to be looking at, you definitely need a 104 if you want to make it through into Q3, but how much below sort of a 104.9 is the real question there, as both McLarens go fast. Is Bottas slightly quicker than Ricciardo? That had the potential to be such a good lineup. It's just a shame McLaren You know, with the exception of Season 2, which some of you guys have always laughed at me, the fact I completely forgot about that season. Yeah, McLaren just have never really delivered the goods that we'd hoped for in this series. But the rest of this lap has been tidy, but not exactly brilliant. Zhou Guanyu, first man, back down into those 104s here in Q2. This is probably going to be a 106, I would have thought. And there we go, Charles Leclerc, 104.5. That's a fantastic lap by him. And yeah, there we go, a 105.99. So when you include the mistake at turn 1, that's actually not too bad. Right, second run then. We're going to use the same set of tyres I used in Q1 here, but we're going to give ourselves enough time if we need to. I mean, we should probably go out on a fresh set for our final run, because I don't want to start the race on tyres that have done 2 qualifying runs there. But look at that, immediately 6/10 found through the first sector. That's what we needed there. And now we've just got to try and find time around the rest of the lap. Probably won't be at that aggressive in a rate. But still, you know, we've got the extra grip, we've got the extra traction. Still to be able to get back into those 4s, I hope. There we go, now basically a second up as we head out of Zhengsao. We're going to find a little bit more as we climb the hill back up towards the start-finish line here. It's going to be about a 104.8, which, to be honest, is actually a pretty good lap. When you consider we've already done a run on these tyres. That puts us P6 there, a 104.88. There's definitely a little bit more time to find there. As you can see, less than a 10th separates our 3 title rivals. Right, final lap then in Q2. Just going to see, we don't really need much of an improvement, but I definitely just don't want to start the race on that one set of tyres. So we're just going to try and push just that little bit harder. See how much more time we can find there. It's chucking it through the centre. It's using all the curb you could possibly ask for. And another 10th up. This is basically just giving ourselves a benchmark to chase in Q3. Oh, George Russell, there we go. That's a time that is going to be very, very difficult to beat there. A 104.2 or 101, a 104.19 even, I should say. We are going to improve though on this second run, and it's a good job we are actually, because we're now into the drop zone here in Sao Paulo. Shows how quickly the track is evolving at the moment. But a 104.6 there should see us into Q3. But that was a mighty lap by George Russell. And there we go then. Don't know whether he got a bit of a toe off another car there, but George Russell, a 104.1 there, quarter of a second clear of Sainz and Lance Stroll there. But look at that, 4 cars from 4 different teams making up the top 4. We do get both cars, though, into Q3, which is exactly what we need. But Verstappen and I are going to have to try and pull our finger out here. We're going to need a worldie of a lap if we want to try and get anywhere near that time by George. I reckon sort of second row is possible, but it is going to depend on what times other cars set. Right, first lap then here in Q3, and we're going to need to try and do everything we possibly can to try and get this thing right up towards the front of the field. Of course, we have got the 2 fresh sets of the soft compound tyres here. Of course, you get that extra final set if you make it into Q3. But longest run back up towards the line. And let's go for our first lap here at Interlagos. And I did exactly the same thing that I did in Q2 there. Just nicked the wheel on the grass as we went down towards turn 1 there. That's just how much we're trying to push to maximise the circuit at the moment. And this first lap is effectively a write-off. But we may as well just still try and get my eye back in there, as you can just see chucking the car around this venue here. George Russell again straight down immediately onto a 104.6. We certainly won't get close to that on this first run, but may as well just still go for it. Trying to attack the curbs out of Zhengsao. They get right up to the grass on the exit. Sergio Perez now goes fastest onto a 104.3. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to start another lap here. We've got enough fuel in the car to go for it. That was a 105 flat. That time round, again, we just nicked the grass, but nowhere near as badly. Will the tyres hang on for a second lap? I don't really know.
You're now in P7.
We're definitely going to be the slowest car if that's going to be the time we set, but we may as well try another one. I'm not sure how bad the first lap was then, if we're still in the green at the moment, despite the tyres starting to struggle with overheating. Reckon we might just throw it away though out of the final corner. No, we actually find a little bit more pace there. So second lap is going to be a very, very minor improvement. It is still going to be even faster there, and now we've got a proper benchmark to try and chase. We get one more run at this, and we've got to make it count. This could be title defining. Right, final run then here from Interlagos, and this is the lap. You know, like we said at Cota, like we said at Mexico, that make the difference between a world championship there. And if that's how we're going to do this lap, that is not a promising start. A little bit of a kick as we went through Zhengsao there, but it shouldn't really cost us much by the time we get back up towards the start-finish line here. But we really need to concentrate here. This lap has got to work. Nice and tidy through turn 1. They didn't quite get the car rotated over the curb through the second part of the centre S, but we ride the curb on the exit there, and that immediately gives us another 10th. That's what we need. Our best run as we went down the hill there, but still somehow finding time. Of course, the benchmark now is on a screaming warm set of tyres, so we should theoretically just find a little bit more there as really attack the curbs at the top of the plateau. Fourth gear on the exit, trying to avoid the wheel spin there as Russell again sets a 104.2. That Red Bull is phenomenal over 1 lap pace here, but as we head through the final few corners of the lap, just concentrate through Jingsao. Purple through the middle sector, that's what we need. Oh, really got aggressive on the throttle on the exit, and look at this, 6/10 up then as we come towards the end of my final qualifying lap here. It's not going to quite be pole, but that is pretty much all I could do, and that is going to be P3 on the grid there. I will take that very happily. P2 even. I will definitely have that.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Russell, Mr. Monaco, and Sergio Perez. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, there we go then. Top 3 on the grid are the top 3 in the championship, but George Russell, pole position here in Sao Paulo, and like I said, that Red Bull over 1 lap pace can be absolutely astronomical at times, so to get within a 10th of him, I'm very, very happy with that there. Sergio Perez and Sainz on row 2 ahead of Stroll and Charles Leclerc, and then we've got Tsunoda, Verstappen, Norris and Giovinazzi rounding out the top 10 there. It's going to get spicy here at Interlagos, but starting right at the front, do we go brave into turn 1? That is the real question. Let's dive into it then here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super, super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. George Russell did very well in qualifying yesterday and will start today's race from pole position. And Mr. Monaco completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Sainz, Lance Stroll and Leclerc, Tsunoda, Verstappen, Norris and Antonio Giovinazzi, Joe, Mazepin, Daniel Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher, Bottas, Ocon, Jack Aitken and Callum Ilott, Schwartzman, Lundgaard, Latifi and Luca Giotto. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for round 20 of what has been an absolutely crazy F1 season here from Interlagos. Yes, a track, like I said, with so much history and so many cool races in the past. Is today going to join that illustrious list? We shall have to wait and see there. But in terms of strategy, you guys know the plan, surely, at this point. We're going to try and do soft medium. It doesn't believe it's possible, but that's definitely what we're going to go with. I mean, it's a strategy that even the AI tend to use more and more as the game has gone on, so we'll wait and see as to what we can muster up here today. But, I mean, yeah, we've got the inside for turn 1. If we get a good start, do we try and stick the nose at the inside of Russell in towards that first corner? That is a question that I'm sure I probably won't end up asking myself, because we never get good starts on this game. But let's dive into it then. 4 races to go, 26 points, the gap in the championship, 5 red lights here in Brazil, and it is going to be a very long hole, but lights out and away we go. And trying to put the power down uphill has not gone well there, and that question, like I said, I was never going to be able to ask myself down in towards the first corner there, as Sergio Perez gets around the outside of me. So Red Bull immediately get a 1-2 at the start here in Interlagos, but Tsunoda and Carlos Sainz just behind as well. I'm sure they'd love to try and get in the action here. You know, all 3 of us have got a lot at stake at this stage of the year. So, you know, if you're a Yuki Tsunoda, you're a very feisty driver at the best of times. You might think, well, I may as well send it. I've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain, unlike these guys. But yeah, George Russell then, he's going to try and control the pace off the start of the Grand Prix there, so you just try and get heat into the tyres. But Sergio Perez again, you know, what do Red Bull do at this stage of the year? It's 2 against 1, you know, you don't want to repeat. I think it was Williams back in, I think it was Williams 87, 86, I want to say. No, it can't have been 87. I want to say it was 1986 there, where of course Alain Prost won the title from underneath them, or of course a more recent example, Kimi Raikkonen. Don't forget that, all the way back in 2007, of course, he won the Grand Prix here. That meant he took the title away from both McLarens late on in the year. So Red Bull definitely don't want to trip over themselves, as Russell, fastest lap of the day at the end of lap 1. But what do? Give both their drivers a fair shot at the championship? Or just tell Perez, you know what, this isn't going to be your year. I would not want to be Christian Horner in this situation. But George Russell, first year at the team, has run a fantastic campaign. At the back of Sergio Perez, as we head up towards the start-finish line. If he's aware of it, Perez is going to go defensive on me as we get back to turn 1. They just go marginally faster than George Russell there, but that is some very aggressive defending by Sergio Perez. Not a fan of that one. Tried to just chop my nose off when we got back down towards turn 1 there, so I wonder if Checo has been told to try and keep me behind there, and if anything, that's just going to make me hungrier in this Grand Prix as we almost do a Hamilton down at turn 4 there. Of course, that's what he did back in 2007. Car moved around slightly in front of him, and he completely got on the grass there and missed his braking point down at the bottom of the hill. Please don't say this is F1 2007 2.0 there, and I'm one of the McLarens. I think, you know, technically we should be Kimi Raikkonen here. I don't know what's going on. Perhaps we can't draw too many metaphors or similarities between that and this. But yeah, Sergio Perez clearly just being very, very aggressive early on. We run very, very wide there, but he won't have the DRS off George anymore, I don't think. Oh, and there we go then. So Perez defending has been in vain there, because he won't have the DRS off George Russell. If we get a good run at the centre S, we might be able to get a bit of a slingshot down the straight. But we need Verstappen fighting towards the front in the late races of this campaign. There's Sergio Perez again going to go defensive to the outside of Checo, late on the brakes. He was aggressive with me, I was aggressive with him there. Somehow there was no contact in that moment, but it is giving George Russell a chance to break away at the front. And yeah, Checo, I think, you know, eye for an eye and all that. End of lap 6 though. Russell had just been able to break away a little bit early on here, but now the gap's starting to go the right way once more. Just floating it around that 1.2 second mark there as well. We almost set a new fast lap of the day. But we've just got to try and get back within the range of George. You know, perhaps we could see a repeat of Belgium here, as hopefully we're not going to see a repeat of what ended up happening at Belgium. But yeah, now we're outside the range of Checo behind as well. So hopefully we're just going to sort of eliminate him from this battle.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
What the team's suggesting, they reckon hard tyres, no thank you. We'll go medium still, either lap 15, lap 16 there or thereabouts. As are we now going to have the 1 second gap to George Russell? He's going to be mighty close. Oh no, that's going to completely compromise it. I can actually get that line right, but apparently just not when I'm talking to the camera. But yeah, oh there we go. We are still going to just only just be within the 1 second zone. No, we're not. Okay, I spoke too soon. Hopefully next lap then we'll be within the 1 second zone of George Russell. He's got fantastic drive out of the final corner. At top end speed, we just have the trump card still. There we go, DRS now off George Russell. The first couple of laps here was super dramatic. And then, I mean, we've actually done pretty good progress in this Grand Prix there, just trying to grind out the laps, trying to close back in on the second Red Bull. So we're going to leave Perez battling out with Tsunoda and Sainz further back. And hopefully, yeah, that the two proper championship protagonists start battling it out here. I'll say all this, and Perez will then take the title from both of us. Let's proper test then to see what sort of top-end speed we've got over George Russell with the DRS there as we head out of Zhongzhou up to the start-finish line. Activate that DRS there. I really wish that detection point was a whole lot earlier on the straight, but we are gaining on George Russell, but not quite enough this time round. So try and stick as close to the gearbox as we can through the centre S. Get on the power nice and early on the exit, and are we going to now see a battle and a potential change for the lead here to the inside of Russell? No, he slams the door shut there. Try and have a look around the outside, but again, just like what happened with Sergio Perez, we just nicked the wheel on the grass there, and that time round it almost went disastrously wrong as we tried to put the power down, but Russell hangs on there. A robust defence from our fellow Brit there. Shades of Hamilton Verstappen from last year. Oh, there we go. Yuki Tsunoda and Sergio Perez into the pits then, only the end of lap 11. So they must be trying to two-stop then in this Grand Prix, and that certainly throws a spanner in the works. Oh, and here we go. George Russell then, end of lap 13, so he's going to box now then. So a few laps earlier than I was planning on it in this race, but what tyres is the Red Bull going to go on to? I don't think we're even going to find out, are we? Because, of course, there's going to be too many cars that stay out there, so we won't even know what strategy George Russell's gone on to then in this Grand Prix, and that certainly adds an extra element of spice to this race. We're going to try and stay out, like I said, end of lap 15 ideally, or ideally I'd like to end of lap 16, but these tyres just starting to give up a little bit.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
And there we go, Verstappen in at the end of lap 14, so we are just extending the stint slightly more than a lot of other cars.
Max in the pits.
We still, I don't think we'll know what George Russell's doing. Actually, we might now get an inkling, because I think Verstappen's actually done pretty well here over the pit window, because he hasn't got held up in a lot of traffic like pretty much everyone else around him has. Russell's on hards.
7 seconds is the gap to the car behind. 7 seconds.
So there we go. We now know George Russell's on a set of hard compound tyres. So he is trying to go to the infill, but we should have a nice pace advantage pretty much from now to the checkered flag. That means, I think, yeah, we can just afford to extend this stint by 1 extra and not worry about it.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Just confirming to the team then that we're boxing into this one, as Russell is now going to be back into P2. Yeah, I'm trying to work out, has Verstappen made some gains here? I think he has jumped 1 car. Thought he might have made a bit more progress than that, to be honest. That's a bit of a shame. That being said, though, if Tsunoda and Perez both have to box again, which is looking highly likely, it might mean Verstappen is close to podium contention here by the end of this Brazilian Grand Prix. But into the pits we come once, well, for the first time today then. Russell now is going to re-inherit the lead of the race, but as long as we stay out ahead of Sainz, we can just monitor the gap and really try and close down that Red Bull as best as possible here. The team better not be changing the wing. Thank Lord for that. And 2.1 second stop as well. That's exactly what we need here in Interlagos. Here comes George Russell around the outside down at turn 1. He will re-inherit the lead of the Grand Prix, but the gap isn't going to be that much either. Just super careful on the exit. So easy just to pick up front wing damage here. But yeah, we only re-emerged less than 2 seconds back behind George Russell there. So clearly he's had to spend a lot of time firing up those hard tyres. And now, I mean, really, we've got half a race where we should have a clear-cut advantage. Let's just keep it tidy, keep it careful, and this race will come to us. That immediately inside the DRS range of George Russell here, so this has worked out fantastically well over the pit window.
Strategy. We need to start conserving as much as possible.
I think we'll be alright, Jeff, as yeah, purple sector 2, purple sector 3 there. We've got so much extra grip over George Russell at the moment. Can, for the first time today then, we take the lead here in Interlagos. We're going to get a nice run down the back straight. Oh, not close enough though. We just get all over the gearbox of the Red Bull as we head down the hill. This, of course, is where we made the move on Verstappen that won us last year's title. And look at that round the outside of George Russell, as we head up the hill there, will we be able to complete this move as we head through turn 6? Yes, we will, and what a move that is for the race lead here in Interlagos. It's not quite going to guarantee the title just yet. If it did, that would be arguably move of the year. But perfect little move there, using the fresher, quicker rubber. Ooh, steady on. And now, yeah, back up into the prime position here at Interlagos. Now, just got to try and break out of that 1 second zone. And this is turning into a very much the perfect scenario for us. Lap 20, gap opened up now, 1.6 seconds over George Russell. We are definitely the fastest car on track at the moment. But it is just that fine balance between just building up the advantage, having fun, enjoying it. You know, this is a completely maxed out car on one of the fastest F1 games of all time, but also just being careful as well. Oh, 106.6.
Fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
New fast lap of the Grand Prix as well. 15 or 16 laps to go here. I'm kind of hoping the rest of this race is pretty boring at the moment because we are in the hot seat. I mean, you've got to give some credit there. Carlos Sainz is quite possibly created one of the biggest trains I've ever seen on F1 2021 here.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
Oh, here we go. What's Jeff going to recommend now? Is it going to be stupid? Let's find out. Yes. Yes, it is. But yeah, Sainz, though, I think he's holding up a train. He's in P3. I think those Alpines are down in, like, P13. And even there's a couple of Aston Martins and a McLaren closing up there. So we can have pretty much from the podium to close to the back markers here, all in one train. That is very impressive. And also goes to show just the level of parity in this career mode at the moment, except for George and I.
Okay, there appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
Oh, Jeff, don't. Come on. Please. Not at this stage of the game. Not with the race we've had today. A bit like Mexico last time round. This cannot happen again to us this late on F1 2021 here. And he always just creates squeaky bum time on this game. We've got a 6-second lead. We're on better, faster tyres than George Russell here after Red Bull was clear and quality.
Fuel. Lift and coast where you can. Okay, looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire. Sorry about that.
What can I do?
Again, find somewhere safe to stop. We need you to retire.
Bye, George. Enjoy your championship. Honestly, this game, bring on F1 22, I swear. What am I supposed to do? Peel it to the bits, man. I can't do anything. Oh, this is just heartbreaking.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Is he ever going to quit? He's just driving around. He's just vibing. Oh, there we go.
That was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
And I think what I hate most about that is when Jeff says that at the end, when we just glide to a halt. What is wrong? Come on, F1 2021. That's probably about the 10th mechanical failure.
Another superb Brazilian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, no doubt the championship has taken a bit of a knock there. George Russell, 25 points on the board. We walk away for the second race in a row with absolutely nothing there. That's the second time on this game as well. We've had back-to-back engine failures, 2 Grand Prix running. I think it was season 4. I want to say Imola and Portimao. We got back-to-back engine failures as well there. But we've got 3 races to go of the year. And if we can't get to the checkered flag, George Russell is just going to walk away with this World Championship there. GG's to Verstappen though. He comes through for P2 when all is said and done, ahead of Stroll and Lando Norris there. Ferrari 5th and 6th there, so Sainz's train didn't quite work until the checkered flag there. Giovinazzi in 7th ahead of Zhou Guanyu. Perez, he still couldn't capitalise despite being given another golden opportunity there ahead of Daniel Ricciardo in P10. And yeah, what a disappointment that was there. We were the only car not to make it to the checkered flag this weekend, so those new Mercedes parts have absolutely destroyed our engines for some reason. Championship-wise, though, 1 point. 1 point now, the gap. It was about 40 3 races ago, but George Russell has been relentless. Our team has been useless. And now, yeah, 3 races to go of the campaign. I guess at least it makes it interesting, but this is not how I wanted the end of the season to go here in this My Team career mode there. 1 point separates us now. 47 back to Sergio Perez. I think his title hopes are pretty much all done and dusted. And yeah, Red Bull again, though, further extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship thanks to that result. I mean, Constructors-wise, 79 points in 3 races. That is basically over now. I mean, Red Bull have a very good chance of wrapping it up next weekend, to be honest. If they pull out another 9 points in the Constructors, it is all done and dusted next time around when we head back to Albert Park there. But George Russell, he's hanging on strong there. 3 engine failures in the second half of this season, though, is not what we would have wanted. However, we have mathematically guaranteed P2 in the Constructors' Championship. Not what I wanted, but I guess, you know, if we have to settle for it, then it's still a fair bit of prize money at the end of the day. But despite all the bad luck, though, in recent races, thank you all so much for the continued support on this series. If you guys have enjoyed the video nonetheless, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Perhaps you just like watching me in pain on F1 2021. But we will return. We are not giving up just yet. We'll be back next time out, ready in Albert Park, Australia. 3 races to go. 1 point in this championship. I think Coders are trying to give us an hour of script career mode. But yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 2021 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members. So a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below. And yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.